I'm basically doing is we are looking at the original strategy that we had when we started the year, and we are looking to say where are we and where are we going. So in today's presentation, I'm going to be looking at local engagements, ACI global developments, training update, CSR update, social and recreation update, marketing update, and finance update. I think on local engagement is where I really want us to focus our attention on, and I think we really need to listen really carefully. If you miss anything else, I think the most important thing you need to listen to is local engagement. So can you go to that slide, please? On the 31st of this month of August, which is the last Friday, we were invited to the BAZ Economists Forum meeting. They're looking at developing policies that will be market friendly, if we could put it that way, or to say what would the market want going forward. And I think why I'm saying this section is very important is we're at a very critical time in our nation. I think we know we just had elections, we've got a new government in place, and I think we've been hearing this term, new dispensation, new dispensation. I don't remember the last time we were asked as a market to come up with policy recommendations. So I think we really need to take advantage of this opportunity that we have as a market. And I'd say the response rate was about 67%, because I think I called each and every contributing bank in our market to say we need some input. So what I need to highlight is the input we're looking at was specifically from the dealers, because when we went to this meeting with Mr. Townley as well, next slide, ACI Global Development, the ACI FMA Board of Education is now represented by all regions. ACI FMA, that's the international arm, that's the who make up the body. It now has representatives from all regions, including Asia, Africa, Middle East, and for Zimbabwe, as you all know, Joe Makwena is a representative on that board. So I think they're just trying to incorporate everyone to say what sort of things would you like to see that apply specifically to your markets. Because I think that's normally some of the issues with ACI to say, is this very applicable within our market? So I think they're engaging us a bit more to say, how can we improve our curriculum, for example, to make it more applicable to whatever it is you do in Zimbabwe, whatever it is that you do from an African perspective. Then the top 5 number of exams that were taken in August 2018 were in Africa. So I think there's really a desire within our African countries to be writing that examination and to learn some of the curriculum. And then the ACI Online FX Global Code Exam, they're now offering the FX Global Code Exam on an online basis, and the certificate will be valid for 1 year, and you're able to take that exam on your own computer. So it's different from the other ACI Global Code Exam where you actually go to Prometric. This one you just take it on your computer and it's valid for 1 year, because I think as they change that policy, you will also be up in your skills, and it's got a time limit of 1 hour, but it actually allows you to log out and save your session, then come back, but the cumulative time is 1 hour. Then you are now able to register for the ACI diploma without an ACI dealing certificate or an operation certificate. They still recommend that you have one, but they say it's no longer a prerequisite to be able to sit for the ACI diploma. And as we had previously advertised it, when they initially wanted to have different diplomas for the different areas, to say an ACI Forex diploma, an ACI fixed income diploma, they still then maintained those as separate topics, but within one diploma examination. I think it's 107 questions over 3 hours for multiple choice. Then ACI Singapore, I think I also need to highlight that ACI Singapore raised 870,000 this year towards their charity initiatives. They hold an annual golf day, just like us. I think they've been doing that for over 20 years. Over 20 years, they've been able to raise over 10 million. So I think that's something which they're very big on in terms of their activities as ACI Singapore. They're very big in the corporate social responsibility area. So I think both such figures, I think they give me hope, because I was just looking at some of the websites to say I think we may be on the right track with our golf day. As a result, we found that even if the numbers are still fairly low, we're not going to be scrapping that golf day, because I think we are in the right direction. Then as you can see, there are 170 golfers, then 550 at their gala dinner, which was held 3 days after the golf day. And another positive development, we now hold a regional call, which is attended by the ACI International Chairman, as well as the Africa Head. So we give them updates to say where are we as ACI Zimbabwe, what sort of training initiatives have we done, what sort of market engagement have we done, what sort of central bank engagement have we done. You can move to the next slide. Training updates. We held training a training was held at RMB, sorry, and some of the Zimbabweans attended. I think 7 were in attendance to that training. I think before also banks represented there. It was the banking seminar and dealing simulation that was held in July. And as you see there, Zimbabwe was the most represented country there. So I think, like I said, as much as our economy may not be where we want it to be, I think we are in the right direction in terms of our focus currently. Then the ICAP training was held in March. It was focusing on technical analysis. There were quite a number of you who attended that. And I think it was the MFME training on managing foreign exchange risk held in August. I think John attended that. He said there were about 16 people in attendance. So I think I'm very happy that we're continuing with our training. And I think our partnership with MFME is beginning to yield results, because I think he's even writing emails to specific banks to say, do you want this sort of training for your staff? Because I think as CABs we couldn't attend that foreign exchange training, but I think we're actually looking to offer it to CABs as a whole, because I think our back office is about 10 people. They also wanted that training. So I think they're then looking to actually then have a class of 15 just for CABs. So I think that's something to look out for. That MFME will be getting in touch with you over the course of the year. Then the ICAP Battle for Banks is currently on. I think it started on the 27th of August. It will be ending sometime in September. I'm sure some of you are actually involved in that as well. So I think those are just some of the things that the market is participating in. Our corporate social responsibility update. On the 17th of March, we visited Shirley Cripps Children's Home. We donated stationery and mealie meal and socks for the school children. That's all worth over 1,650. As you see, it's quite high. We're then including the funds we raised from the 2016 Golf Day as well, because we didn't actually manage to have any further donations in 2016 and 2017. Because you will recall initially, I think we donated groceries, but that was from direct donations from you as dealers in your dealing rooms. So this one was from the Golf Day, so that was more or less 2 years worth of funding. And then the golf teams, I think we've maintained 5 teams from last year, so at least it didn't go down, but I think we're looking to have more teams next year. And another thing I think I need to emphasize on the golf is, I think we need you guys as dealers to push this golf thing. I think like Marvin is always stating in our meetings to say, as we actually start our year, when we give you that subscriptions later, I think it's something you need to then look for to talk to your marketing, to say within your marketing budget, if you can also allocate say 1,000 towards the ACI Zimbabwe Golf Day. And I think as dealers, we could also then come up with our own team in each of those banks to say, we've got a team for CABs, a team for NMB. But I think under the golf day, I have to then mention NMB and ZB Bank and CBZ, a special mention. I think since we started this golf day in 2016, they've been sending a team every year. I think NMB and ZB this year, they actually sent 2 teams. So actually find that as much as we've got 5 teams, some of those are 2 teams per bank. So I think we can do much better in that sphere, because I think this is really just $250. So like I said, I think we need you as dealers to push this within your banks, to talk to your marketing. Because I think the major challenge is if you start talking when you get the letter in July, maybe it's too late. They'll tell you you've done the budget for the year, things like that. But I think if you actually specify that this is an annual golf day, so it will be there in July or August, without fail. I think we need you to push that, guys. Then we are currently in engagement with various partners. I think we're still looking towards the initiative that Shana started for sanitary way. And I think we've been finding better solutions as we go. Because I think you remember our initial solution was to say people would purchase this in pharmacies, then throw it in a bin or something. But with time we're actually finding that there's also the reusable methods. And I think the lady we actually spoke to at the golf day, she said once you give them maybe 5-10 of those, she's good for life. I don't think for life exactly, but I think for the next couple of years, I'm sure she can gladly finish high school. Because I think if you look at the figures, they miss about 25% of their schooling when they're on their menstrual periods as girls. So if they don't have access to sanitary way, that means there's a part of schooling that is missed. And I think, like we're saying, our nation is at a pivotal time. I think it's very necessary that whatever we can do, let's do it. And I think it's also just a moral sort of thing to say, we make lots of money, but let's then look for ways to actually raise that money. We're not asking you to give it from your salaries, but we're looking to say, let's create partnerships. So even amongst you, you've got people who you know who are in this sort of business, the reusable sanitary, if you could let us know so that we can partner with them and see how we can work best with them. Then, like I told you, I think the Singapore story is highly inspiring. I think the sort of amounts that they've been raising over the years are very critical. Those are just some visuals from the Shirley Cripps donation. Was it the children? Now we move on to social and recreation update. As always, we're continuously working to value entertainment. You'll find that Shana called, I believe, all the banks who subscribe. I believe she called all of you to inquire to say what sort of entertainment do you want. I know some of you said you weren't called, but Shana's got V11s that she called you. sorry, Chishu, not Shana, Chishu. She's got V11s to show that she called you, so I do believe she called every subscribing bank to say what sort of entertainment do we want. This year we've just got the DJ, but we'll see next year what we have. Then we had invited BAZ to this year's AGM, but unfortunately Mr. Washa and Mr. Bia, the Executive Director of BAZ, they are in Seychelles as we speak. They are attending something there, so unfortunately they couldn't make it. They also looked to invite people like ACI Zimbabwe Bank, AFDB, Trader Development Bank, because I think as our market continues to open up, I think there's no harm in actually interacting with those people to say, as they develop their facilities, they've got a better idea. They actually communicate with the people who do this on a day-to-day basis, who are actually in the market. Obviously, we will follow protocol through our treasurers, through BAZ, but like we said, we will be inviting them to our future functions, so don't be surprised to see them at the cocktail or something like that. Then Vic Falls, unfortunately, that one is still a headache. I think we know that that was your number one for everyone. That was even our number one choice as well. But I think the flight cost is still very prohibitive, because I think for flights alone it's 50,000. When Toyota presents these financials, you see that possibly the 50,000 or so is what we actually raise in subscriptions alone, so it's still impossible. I think we've got very few planes going there currently, so, and obviously the way they then charge it, they realize your market player is quite heavy, so we'll still look towards doing that. Hopefully maybe next year things will have stabilized a bit. We'll continue to try and get you to Vic Falls. If we fail, then I think the committee that comes in, hopefully by then definitely they should be able to get you there. Because I think we know that the entertainment part is still very important. Like I've always said, it's still a very important part of ACI, just to get to relax, to refresh as dealers, and the treasurers included. So I think it's very necessary, and we're still working on that. When we move on to our marketing update, I noted and acknowledge that there are concerns with the gifts we gave you. I think there are issues of size and visibility, because some of you said this is just something which fits in my pocket, so it may not create that sort of impact when someone meets me, because they may not even see that I'm carrying an ACI golf stick. So we will obviously continue to work to develop something that is very visible, that you can actually use in terms of marketing or awareness of our organization. Then we added 2 standalone banners. I think this is one of the new ones. Then we also added teardrop banners, because I think these are very necessary for our golf day. That when we're having our golf day, we need some visibility on the green, and the standalone banners would be taken away by the wind. So I think that's some of the things we're working on. And the engagement with the press is progressing very well. We've got Conrad in attendance. I'm not sure if he's here currently, but he is with us, and I think we'll be having an interview on Capital Talk on Tuesday. So I think our engagement with the press is going very well as well. Because I think, like you said, we are an advocacy platform, so it's very necessary that we get out there. Like we said, obviously we do our things with respect, we follow protocol, but at the same time, like I said, I think let's use the opportunities that we have. If we're actually given that voice to say what are your views, what are the things affecting you, I think let's take it up and do that. So I think you saw let's just jump on it. Because like I said, it's not every time that you're asked to say what sort of policies. And the good thing about our paper is it's not even going branded ACI Zimbabwe, it's not even going branded Treasurers Forum, it was just branded monetary policy reforms. Then BAZ just erased. Such that when it's going, it's really a market position. Because I know at times maybe because some of the worries that you now think because I called you specifically, this paper is going to go written CAB's recommendations. No. It's a market position, which is why we're saying as a market you should participate, because the thing is, they don't then complain if we make certain recommendations, they're taken up, and maybe that's not what you wanted as a bank, because we're giving you the chance. So I think whenever they engage us, I'll also be sending you feedback and engaging you as well, so that we move in one accord, so that we know what's going on within the market. Then if there are any questions, we'll take those at the end. I'll hand over back to the Secretary General. Thank you.